April 1986, Romania. No electricity, no bananas, and definitely no internet. Just ration cards, grey buildings, and a whole lot of silence. Meanwhile, my mom was pregnant. Let's just say I wasn't planned. And under communism, neither was birth control. The same month, the world was holding its breath. Some out of fear, some from radiation. And I arrived into all of it wide-eyed, wondering, is this really how it's supposed to be? And from day one, I learned to adapt, to be the good girl, to be the overachiever, the one who followed the rules. And so I stopped living from who I truly was and started drifting through who I thought I had to be. And that's when it began. The voice, the one that says, "Psst, you're not ready. You will make a fool of yourself. Be realistic. You'll start when it's perfect or when you can remember your lines." It sounds helpful until it steals your life. In this video, I will show you how I stopped letting that voice in my head run the show and how powerful journaling prompts helped me take back control. Are you asleep yet? Because journaling is the broccoli of self-improvement until it talks back.
When you think about the biggest challenge in your life right now, what emotion comes up first? And what does that emotion want to tell you?
Okay, damn. If companies use AI to optimize business, why don't we use it to elevate our life? I'll show you how to use AI as your coach to see what's holding you back, rewrite old stories, and get what you want in life. Many years ago, in 1938, Napoleon Hill wrote Outwitting the Devil, a book so controversial his family hid it for over 70 years. Why? Because it didn't talk about meeting the devil with horns or Dracula. Muhaha! It talked about the one in your head, the one that doesn't scream directly, give up. Instead, it whispers, you're being smart, strategic, safe. And Napoleon Hill called it out, a voice so convincing, even he thought it was wisdom. But it wasn't. And it was the devil disguised as your inner advisor. Perfection isn't the goal, it's the trap. The drift isn't just a behavior, it's a thought pattern, a loop. One, AI can help reflect back to you if you know how to prompt it right. And you don't need a guru, you need a better conversation with yourself. And that starts with the right question, mirrored back by the right tool. Your dream is a croissant, fresh out of the oven, hot, golden, irresistible. But the longer you wait to eat it, the colder and floppier it gets. That's not just poetic, that's science. And it's called temporal motivation theory. Here's what your brain does with your big idea. Day 1, let's change the world. Day 10, let's change the sheets. Every delay literally decreases your brain's perceived value of the task. The longer you put off meaningful action, the less appealing it becomes, until it becomes just another stale to-do on a long list you will never touch. So if you are waiting for the perfect time, that's your brain quietly throwing your dream in the trash. It took me years to start on YouTube, not because I didn't want to, but because I thought I wasn't ready. They say, follow your dreams, so I took a nap. I convinced myself I needed a better voice, a nicer apartment, a more polished version of myself. So I waited, and every time I waited, I called it preparation. I wasn't procrastinating. No. I was strategically waiting for the perfect time, which, according to my calendar, was always tomorrow. Psst. You can't film today. The light is not good. It's highlighting your big nose. You will start when it's perfect. Let your potential simmer for 8-10 years. This is strategy. But it wasn't strategy, it was fear. And that's the drift. Because fear doesn't always scream. It sounds reasonable. The devil doesn't need to destroy your dreams directly. just needs you to wait long enough for them to quietly disappear. But how do you apply this to your own life? Next, I will show you how to spot the drift and the story that's keeping you stuck. You know that one closet in your home where you just keep putting things you don't want to deal with? Yeah, your brain has one too. Open that mental closet and you will find a pile of stories labeled "I'm not ready," "It's not the right time," or "just one more training." Today, you get to pick inside. Sometimes it takes a coach to help you see your patterns, and sometimes that coach is a mirror, one powered by AI, not to replace your wisdom, but to reflect it back until you remember it's yours. So go ahead and ask ChatGPT or your preferred AI. Act as a world-class mindset coach. Help me uncover the story I keep telling myself that's making me procrastinate or play small. Be authentic, original, brilliantly clever. No fluffy or generic advice. Be compassionate, but don't let me hide. I'm ready to name the thing beneath the thing. The outcome for our conversation today is for me to say the story in my head is ...
Absolutely. Let's get right to it.
And let ChatGPT respond. Let it hold up a mirror to your thinking so you can finally see the story you've held inside.
The story in your head is likely something like this. If I put myself out there fully, I might fail or not measure up, and that would confirm my deepest fears about not being good enough. This belief is a protective mechanism. It's kept you from facing potential criticism or disappointment, but now it's turning into a self-imposed ceiling that limits your growth and potential. So, the story in your head is, stepping fully into my power is too risky because failure or rejection would mean I'm not enough. Awareness of this narrative is the first step to dismantling it. You are already whole, and taking action despite the fear is the path to growth. Let that awareness guide your next move.
And then say it out loud. The story in my head is... And once you name it, it stops running the show. And if you feel like sharing it, drop it in the comments below. What's one story you've been telling yourself that might actually be the drift in disguise? The devil. I would love to read it. And I think someone else might need to see it too. You are not the only one going through this. But the drift is just the beginning, because if you let it linger, it becomes something far more dangerous. A rhythm. The drift is skipping the gym once. Hypnotic rhythm is missing it so many times it becomes your identity. Hills calls it hypnotic rhythm. Science calls it your default mode network. Ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Congratulations, you've just activated the default mode network. Your brain has a default setting, and when you are not paying attention, guess what? Your mind plays the default playlist, and the tracks, mostly old hits like "Why You'll Never Make It," "Why It's Safer to Stay Small," and "Why You Don't Have What It Takes." And I felt it. When I was little, I didn't just love animals, I felt them. And I would sneak stray dogs into our apartment, wrap kittens in towels, anything that looked forgotten, I tried to rescue. And I said I wanted to become a vet, but I really just wanted them to feel safe, to feel seen, to know they mattered. But then I found out no matter how hard you try, some of them don't make it. And I stopped trusting the ache in my heart and started believing that maybe caring too much was the problem. So I buried it and chose logic over instinct, certainty over feeling, and that's how it starts. Not as one big moment, but as a drift. You trade your nature for safety, your intuition for success, choosing should over want. And the rhythm, it just keeps repeating until one day you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Think of it like a record player. Each time you repeat a pattern, the needle cuts deeper into the vinyl, making the groove harder and harder to escape. And the longer I stayed in that pattern, the deeper the rhythm, the groove became. And that's hypnotic rhythm. It starts as a whisper, Then it becomes your default. And if you don't interrupt it, it quietly shapes your destiny. But here's the good news. Rhythm works both ways. Once you become conscious of the pattern, you can redirect it. Just like a record, you can change the track. You can redirect the rhythm. But how do you do that? In step 1, you spotted the drift where hesitation, distraction, perfectionism held you back. Now, let's use hypnotic rhythm to your advantage. Imagine you are steering a ship and you change the course by just 1%. At first, it feels like nothing, but stay on that course long enough and guess what? You don't just end up somewhere new. You land on a dream island, sipping cocktails under a palm tree. So here's my challenge for you. Interrupt the drift. Do one small thing differently. You don't have to flip your entire life upside down. Do one thing today that makes your old self go, wait, that's not like you. Go ahead and ask ChatGPT. Please act as a high-level accountability coach and help me identify an action I can take today that disrupts my usual pattern and make it insanely great, practical, but also light and enjoyable.
All right, let's shake things up.
It might say,
Record a short, unfiltered video sharing one insight or breakthrough you've had recently. Keep it raw and authentic, no overthinking.
can you give me 2 more options? What if I treat myself to cake right now because I'm having this conversation with you, which is out of my comfort zone, and I'm recording it?
I love that idea. Treating yourself to cake right now is a perfect way to celebrate stepping out of your comfort zone and engaging in this insightful conversation. Plus, it sets a fun, positive tone for future bold actions. Enjoy your cake and let it be a reminder that growth can be sweet and rewarding.
Go and do it. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be different, just enough to create a new rhythm. Interrupt the autopilot. That's how the rhythm becomes your weapon, not your weakness. If the drift and hypnotic rhythm are the devil's tools, then the next part is your sword. And I will show you what the devil fears most. The only way to escape the drift is to claim your mind. In Outwitting the Devil, Hill says the one thing that sets you free is definiteness of purpose, knowing what you want and choosing it over and over again. But having a definite purpose doesn't mean you need your entire life mapped out perfectly. It simply means choosing one meaningful thing and moving toward it, step by step. And according to self-determination theory, you need a boss shouting in your ear to get motivated. No, exactly the opposite. You don't need a boss. You need something much scarier: freedom. Autonomy is the moment you say, I choose this, and your brain lights up like a festival, which is ironic because freedom sounds exciting until you're staring into the void of infinite choices. Wait, do I even know what I want? Most of us misunderstand this. We think we are unmotivated when we really are just unaligned. We've lost connection to the one thing that creates real momentum: autonomy, the freedom to say, this matters, I choose this. For me, that once looked like holding tiny, shivering body in my arms, choosing to care even when no one else did. No one told me that's purpose, but deep down I knew caring was my first language, my secret way of saying the abandoned, the wounded, every soul on this planet deserves love too. Here's what I didn't see back then. I wasn't just rescuing animals, I was rescuing the part of me that felt like them, small, vulnerable, unseen. And I was practicing how to hold pain and see others without looking away. But you can't bury something that's true forever. It finds another way. And years later, that same instinct came back. But this time, it wasn't animals I was helping, it was people. People who were strong on the outside, but quietly falling apart inside. People who'd forgotten how to love themselves. people like I had once been. And that's how coaching found me, not as a strategy, but as a calling. Helping others come home to who they really are, not fixing them, not saving them, just guiding them through the transformation I had once walked myself. But the devil still showed up, disguised as logic. Be realistic. So I let it go. But the dream kept returning, and this time stronger, and so did the fear.
You are throwing away your career. You are being reckless.
But this time I didn't listen, because the moment you choose a direction, even if your hands are shaking, you stop spinning. And that's the power of definiteness of purpose. Not perfection, not certainty, just a quiet decision to stop waiting and start becoming. And that's the work I do now. For the empath who always put others first, for the perfectionist who never lets themselves rest, for the high achiever who still feels like an imposter, for the kind leader who's tired of pretending everything's fine. This is for you. I created the space for self-coaching to finally put yourself first and trust that that is the right thing to do. In a world that rewards toughness, I choose to stay compassionate, to care deeply, to notice what's hurting beneath the armor. Because even the strongest among us have moments when we feel small, scared, or unseen. And my job isn't to judge that, it's to honor it and to help you rise from it. And here's what I've learned. That voice in your head, the devil, the doubter, it never fully disappears. This is what the drift looks like in action. I started editing the video, did the first cleanup, and I had this idea in my mind that I'm going to make a blockbuster. When I look at it, I think it is crap. My eyes are doing a weird thing. Then when I recorded the devil part in the forest, I forgot to bring this for my microphone, so I had to use my AirPods, and the sound is bad, so I don't know if I'm gonna salvage it. Should I record all over? So the devil in my head says, this is going to suck. I don't like it. I have these thoughts every time. I could also ask ChatGPT, but I already know because I asked ChatGPT in a previous video when self-doubt crept in. I'm making a difference. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. I don't know if this video will be good. I hope it is. I hope it is better than the last one. Use AI as a self-coach. I got this idea some time ago, and the more I think about it, the sillier it is. The more we think about something, we will find a million reasons not to do it. The thing is that these thoughts will never disappear, and that's okay. You don't need to silence it. You just need to stop believing it. You learn to meet it with compassion and then choose from somewhere deeper. And that's the real work. And if you're ready to do it, to shift from self-doubt to self-trust, that's exactly the path I'll guide you through. But how do you start? Next, I will show you how to outsmart fear when it sounds like reason and follow your purpose. Imagine you are driving your car toward your dream. Fear jumps in the backseat, leans forward, and starts shouting directions. Take a left toward safety. Turn around, this is too risky. Are you even sure you should be driving? For a while, you listen, you hesitate, you reroute, until suddenly you realize this isn't fear's ride, it's yours. And you grip the steering wheel, glance at fear in the rearview mirror, and say, hello, baby fear. You can come along, but I am the one choosing where we are headed. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need one moment and a tool that reflects your wisdom back to you. And you can start right now by using AI to help you hear it. You just need to know what to ask. So go ahead and ask ChatGPT.
Act as a high-level transformational coach hired by top performers to create clarity and results fast. Ask me powerful questions to help me get crystal clear on what I really want and what's been missing. Speak in a way that calls forth the version of me that's ready to stop playing small and who is allowed to want more. And help me be honest about what I really want without filtering it through guilt, fear, or logic.
Absolutely. Let's get straight to the heart of what you truly want. First question. If there were no limitations, no fear of failure, and no one else's opinions to consider, what would you want your life and impact to look like right now?
Then answer those questions honestly and let the words surprise you. Picture where you actually want to go, not the safest destination, the one that lights you up inside. How does it feel in your body? If it feels expansive, like fresh air entering the room, that's your direction.
Your passion for blending coaching, art, and technology is a unique strength. It's clear that infusing creativity and innovation into your content not only brings you joy, but also sets you apart.
It's not considered a real job by many people. Being a YouTuber is not a real job.
I hear you. Creating content or being a YouTuber isn't a real job is a limiting belief imposed by others. In reality, creating content that helps millions is not only impactful, but also a legitimate and powerful way to change lives. Your purpose is clear, to make the world a better place by reaching and uplifting millions through your content. Now let's align your actions with that vision and push past any external judgments.
Here's the secret. Even fear wants to see you arrive. It just doesn't know the way. But you do. You always have. And when you use AI as your coach with curiosity, honesty, and an open mind, it doesn't give you answers. It helps you hear your own. It gives your inner wisdom a voice, the one that's been there all along, beneath the drift. So, if you are still waiting for the perfect time, remember, the devil doesn't need to stop you. He just needs you to wait. So, take the bite before the croissant gets cold.
Hi, is the devil. Not really. I just wanted to say that it was so much fun to record what the devil says. Those are the lines that the devil was saying in my head. But having it done in a fun way is so therapeutic. So that can be another way to outwit the devil if you are very skeptical about using AI. Try it out. Record what the devil is saying in your head in a funny way.
This was about the voice in your head. But what happens when your heart feels too much for everyone and everything? In the next video, I asked AI to help with my empathy for animals. Watch it next, and I'll see you there.
Are you really going to record with that accent?